Estos son los detalles que está en la reputación. Por eso yo no tengo idea. Debería guardar la partida probablemente aquí. Y ver qué onda, porque... se supone que puedo... hacer un viaje rápido, ¿no? O sea, ya revisé todo este mapa. Ahora tengo que tomar la decisión de a quién le corto la electricidad. Probablemente se la va a cortar al pueblo, se la va a cortar al grande, ¿no? Se la voy a cortar al desgraciado este. ¿Y a quién se la corté? Sí, el laboratorio botánico me pidió. Se supone que... tengo dos opciones, o la redirijo... Igual el pueblo tenía... digamos que el pueblo tenía... em, ¿cómo se llama? El pueblo tenía... muy poca gente viviendo, la verdad. No sé, no me pareció que fuese... que viviese mucha gente en el pueblo, honestamente. El juego no es malo, no es excelente tampoco. Es un poco raro en el tema de lo poco parecido. O sea, tiene un parecido a Fallout, sí, pero muy poco. No, yo no lo compararía con Fallout ni cagando, honestamente. No, la verdad que no. No lo puedo comparar con Fallout. Se parece un poco, pero siento que Fallout es mejor, por donde lo vea. Pero bueno, sigue siendo igual bueno de todas maneras. No es el mejor juego del mundo, pero tampoco es el peor juego del mundo. He jugado juegos peores que este. No sé, como por ejemplo... ¿cómo se llama el otro? El otro se llama Redfall. Redfall sí que es horrible, honestamente. Redfall es asquerosamente malo. Ahora, podría mejorar... el problema es que... ¿qué es esto? Mejoremos. Instalar. Esto, bueno, esto lo cambia a plasma y a electricidad, pero esto no. Ya lo mejoré con eso. Lo otro no se lo instalaría por ahora. Y esto ya se lo mejoré también. Y en esta tampoco se le cambiaría plasma o electricidad. Sí le agregaría esta modificación de municiones que caen. Esto sí lo haría. Eh, y esta probablemente igual le haría lo mismo. Ya. Eh, y en temas de modificaciones de lo que estoy usando, eh, ¿qué es esto? Armadura más 3. Y sería, yo creo que no le voy a agregar nada más por ahora. Pero sí cabe mucho más balitas, definitivamente.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded.
¿Que me hago daño? Sí, me hago daño. Pero muy poco. ¿Y qué habrá ya, no? Tal vez por acá.
Halt, sir.
Uh-oh!
Combate.
Can't get past that armor! Nice one!
Investigating.
Ah! 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 It's bouncing! That's the last of them!
El vapor. De acá. ¿Hay algo? No.
Unexpected.
Incoming! Nice hit!
Sweeping the area.
Ah!
An area.
Ah! Ah! You got him!
Security patrol
Ah!
initiated.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Investigating.
¿Qué murió? Ah, no. Ah, según yo no lo tengo en Nova, digamos que es la dificultad mayor. Lo tenía en difícil, pero lo cambié.
Just two more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale?
Y aquí.
Where to go? If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the Vale?
Yeah, huh? You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. Fixing the universe is a job for somebody way better than the likes of me.
Go away, Phantom! You're not real. You're not real.
Yo vi una escalera aquí, pero tengo que ver dónde estaba porque no me acuerdo.
No, no, no. Just leave me alone.
Era por acá, creo. Acá.
Get away!
Es raro como baja la escalera, honestamente.
No, no, no. Just leave me alone. You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot. Scram. Most people? But I'm the only one left. No. Remember your first rule, Higgins. No arguing with the Phantoms. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Of course. Do excuse me. I experience brief flashes of mania during which I am visited by the phantoms of my imagination. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons. You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. The tail. Definitely start with the tail. If you're feeling adventurous, the ears are a particular delicacy. Jimmy'd opened the vending machines. That lasted a good couple of months. Eventually, I had to resort to more unconventional means of filling my insides. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out.
Es raro que esté solo aquí este tipo, la verdad. Y ahora me dio, se supone que me dio su código de acceso. Veamos. Tengo que, bueno, redistribuir la energía, pero...
That's the last. I'm not sure what the right is. All I know is the decision's final.
No sé qué hacer, la verdad. ¿A quién quitarle la electricidad? ¿Será acá? Probablemente no. No. Tal vez acá arriba. No.
Once we do this, there's no going...
Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? If you're sure. I had to ask.
O sea, igual grabé antes por si acaso, pero porque lo que hice fue redistribuir la energía, pero la destruí. Le quité la energía a la ciudad, creo.
You want to know what gets my bile churning? Edgewater has suffered a cavalcade of disasters, plague, marauders, desertion. Then you wandered in town. And I was so damn sure our luck was starting to turn. I never knew how right I was. Just answer one question for me. Why'd you do it? That power regulator is company property. Whatever you were hoping to find down here, I advise you to turn around and leave. I have got guards posted with orders to fire on you. Edgewater's dead. Our cannery's dead. Adelaide's deserters are never coming back. Spacer's Choice will shut us down before long. Some of us will die of illness by then. Some will move on. Some will starve. And as for me, I will tender my resignation, whereupon I shall be processed and then duly imprisoned for gross incompetence. All right, easy now. Let's not do anything we'll regret. I'll order my guards to stand down. Take what you came for and then leave us be. Stand down, all of you. We're done here.
El tema es que, claro, puedes pensar de que, o sea, tal vez mi elección no es la más coherente, porque dejó una ciudad y a gente que no puede protegerse, pero en ambos lados iba a ser lo mismo, honestamente. Porque si los dejaban los otros, tan bueno, eran menos probablemente. Eso sí, puede ser. Eran menos. Tal vez. No. Acá son más personas. Podría recargar la partida y dejar a los otros sin suministro eléctrico. Y ya. No. A ver, veamos. O sea, guardé justamente aquí. Voy a hacer lo contrario. Lo que pasa es que pienso de que dejar a toda esa gente que estaba del otro lado es más gente, honestamente, que dejar al pueblo pequeño, creo yo. Igual puedo volver acá y volver a hacerlo, pero voy a guardar, supongo, en el generador y ver qué pasa. No me preocupa tanto que me ataquen, la verdad. Eso me da exactamente lo mismo. Pero sí creo que probablemente más gente va a salir afectada.
I'm not sure what the right is. All I know is the decision's final.
Pero si lo veo por cantidad de personas afectadas, creo que el pueblito más grande va a salir más afectado que el pueblo más pequeño. Eso sí creo.
Once we do this, there's no...
Hey, mister? Do you... If you're sure.
Soy consciente de lo que voy a hacer, está claro. Pero al final... soy consciente de lo que hice. Ojo que una cosa bien curiosa, ¿eh? Pero cuando... A ver, digamos que... ¿Dónde está? Digamos que si yo, por ejemplo, un ejemplo, les doy la electricidad a los otros, ¿no?
Once we do this, there's no...
Hey, mister?
No bajo la reputación, ojo.
If you're sure.
O sea, voy a guardar para que no me hable de nuevo. Pero si yo agarro y lo redirijo al laboratorio botánico, fíjense que veamos si es que hay un efecto negativo. Has bajado tu regulación en facción de gang espacial. Ah, o sea, hay un efecto negativo en ambos. ¿Y quiénes son gang espacial? Gang espacial es la marca favorita de los viajeros espaciales con presupuestos ajustados a los pueblos de Frontemer y la región de Vales. Propiedad de la empresa gang espacial. ¿Y qué son estas? Comunidad de trabajadores decepcionados que abandonan el pueblo. No sé, yo no sé. Probablemente que yo creo que la facción de desertores no sé, la verdad. Honestamente no sé. Creo que los desertores son más pequeños que la otra facción. Voy a redistribuirla nomás a las fronteras, o sea, va a haber, obviamente, para cualquier lado va a haber una excepción, ¿no? O sea, eso va a pasar sí o sí. No. Ahora ellos no van a odiarme, porque no me van a odiar, pero sí va a haber un 16% de descontento, digamos. Eh, Veamos qué me va a decir. Es que no tengo idea. Me van a querer atacar probablemente. Yo creo, ¿eh? Pero como dije, son menos. Siento que son menos. Igual hay gente, no voy a decir que no, pero bueno.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it? You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management. You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear. Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients. Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty, enough for a generation's worth of crops.
O sea, igual es una buena idea deshacerme de la cucaracha esa que está del otro lado. Honestamente. Hablemos con la gente.
What happened? Sprat fell into a transformer again? I don't know what you did to talk some sense into Zoe, but I appreciate it. The matter's been weighing on me. Zoe came back, but I couldn't keep her from slipping out in the first place. Who's to say I could keep marauders from slipping in? I don't see us lasting more than a couple of weeks out here. I'm loath to admit it. We're gonna have to make our peace with Thompson and hope he takes us back. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Well, Adelaide's not gonna forgive us. She never talked to us again. Edgewater's not just a town to Adelaide. It's a symbol of everything that's wrong with this colony. A big, heartless machine of metal and gears grinding workers down to dust. We're the closest thing Adelaide's got to a family. We go back to Edgewater, she's gonna feel betrayed. Sure, suit yourself. I'll be here.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, how are you? Hi, hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
I seen you wandering around here. You don't look like you're coming from town. Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair. I mean to. I mean to do right by my friends, too. They believed I was an engineer, and so I'll make an engineer out of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged. I wish I knew. I wagered the town had the full set once upon a time. Where the third's gone, I can't say. I'll pay you for every pad you bring me. If, by some miracle, you can bring me the full set, I'll give you something pretty I've been saving for a lucky day. No kidding! Really? Well, which one? Look at that! Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. One datapad's enough to guide me down my newfound path. Just remember, I got something saved for you if you find me all 3. Well, don't keep me in suspense. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible! You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. Sure, I'd be glad to take them off your hands. I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again. You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her. Adelaide hates Edgewater, hates everything Edgewater stands for, hates what that town does to people, what it did to her. We're the nearest she's got to kin. We go back to Edgewater, we may as well have stuck a knife in her heart. You know where to find me.
Quiero ver esa última tableta. Ver qué onda. Igual quiero tratar de convencer al tipo este. Está abajo. Parece, ¿no? Baja. A ver. Debe estar en el piso. No en el último piso, sino. Ahí está. Debe estar por acá en algún lado, o sea. En la parte de acá arriba, probablemente. Y lo hace es que yo no quise robar, pero es que en realidad en este juego da lo mismo. Se me había ido esa weá. Como dije, no es un efecto tan negativo, honestamente. No es que te van a revisar, por ejemplo en Starfield te revisaban cada vez que entrabas si tenías, a ver si tenías algo robado o no. No. Entonces, en este juego no es así, definitivamente no. No es un mal juego, pero tampoco es no sé, el mejor juego del puto mundo. Lo he dicho varias veces, pero es que realmente no lo es. Veamos esto. Porque ya lo estoy jugando, así que... Okay.
Any luck finding one of those manuals? No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Ms. Parvati, I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
Por ahora no los voy a convencer de que vuelvan por el momento. Veamos. Está así ya. Voy a hablar con esta última persona y ahí vamos a ver qué onda, pero... Esto está sellado, antes no estaba sellado. No, vamos a ir a hablar con el viejo, yo creo. Con este viejo de acá. Ay, que no sé qué hacer. Voy a guardar de nuevo. La verdad que... Podría hablar con ella y ver qué me dice. Ahora no le he dicho a nadie que se vaya todavía.
Look at that. The snake's come back.
Nah, ni nada. Ya no importa, vamos a hablar con este señor de acá. Que está justamente ahí arriba, como pueden verlo. Es bien chico el lugar, yo lo veía más grande al comienzo cuando recién empecé. Pero después me di cuenta de que no. Le cobro la recompensa y luego de eso lo hago irse nada más, ¿no? Es la mejor opción, creo yo. Como para no perder.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts? Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes, but I have done my best for this town. I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home. Unless you can demonstrate to me that we are helpless without her, I see no reason why I should stand down. You will excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil? If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me. A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them.
Entonces logré sacarlo de acá de una forma positiva, honestamente. Así que... buena onda. Igual no servía de nada como líder. Tampoco le dije la verdad. Me mentí. Pero se lo merece.
Look at that. The snake's come back. I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know. Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward. You telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
Adelaide's Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what to do is all. Adelaide said that? Was she sober at the time? I never imagined she'd step foot in Edgewater long as Reed ran the town. Something must have changed in Edgewater. Adelaide's good as family. If she's going back, so are we. What's on your mind?
Never liked Reed much. Can't say I'm sorry he's gone.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
O sea, al final no fue tan malo tampoco, porque más allá de que claramente les corté la electricidad, sí se las corté y todo, pero van a volver, o sea, ella vuelve a la ciudad como jefa de la ciudad, digamos así, ¿no? Entonces no lo veo tan negativo, honestamente. Ahora, tengo que volver acá, ¿no?
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome! Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling. Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think? Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room. I could spend hours reflecting on the secret workings of the universe. Little else in this colony offers such a relaxing pastime. So, tell me what's on your mind. I excel at confessional listening. I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him. That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures. I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the Philosophist's off-world destination. Thank you, Captain.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal.
As always, I am at your disposal. So, tell me what's on your mind. I excel at confessional listening. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition. That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them. My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
That was a good thing you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that. He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda. I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst.
What can I do for you, Captain? Do you know how to install a power regulator? Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
Bueno, gracias a Dios el juego no es tan largo, parece.
What can I do for you, Captain? Goodbye.
Hay una forma de poner de nuevo los perks, creo, pero... O sea, no los perks, sino sí las habilidades, pero no... A ver. No he revisado nada de la nave, honestamente. No sé qué tan grande sea tampoco. No. Es bastante grande, la verdad. Aunque todo está sellado, pero bueno. Ok. Veamos.
What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities. Welcome back, Captain. All systems are now operating. We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you. Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay. Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly. Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her. Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology years ahead of its time. I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters. Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits, first-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you. Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal. Make yourself at home, Captain. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to discuss? How can I be of assistance? Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? As you wish, Captain. I must comply with all direct orders. I have lots of minutes. I require a captain to pilot the ship. Without an identified captain or crew, I serve no purpose. Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
Can we chat? Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson. I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff. Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
Sigo sin acostumbrarme un poco con el juego, la verdad. O sea, me encanta el Fablo, pero no sé por qué este juego no tiene esa sensación, la verdad. No sé, hay algo en este juego que, como dije desde el comienzo, desde que lo empecé a jugar.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a toss ball stick. I heard you the first time.
Now's not a good time. I'm dealing with a problem here.
So, go space yourself. Problem solved.
You must really want a truncheon through your teeth. Do what you want. I'm done here.
Whatever you heard, it's all true. I had this foreman, right? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting. That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation. Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing. But I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it? Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time. Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance. See you around, boss.
Do you mind? I'm trying to file a report.
It's always fucking freezing in the base. I picked up some weird chatter on my way in. Seemed to come from Monarch?
O sea, me gustaría que puta tal vez se sintiese un poco menos, o sea, como que se sintiese un poco más, no sé cómo explicarlo, pero como menos artificial, digámoslo así.
I get strange comms chatter every time.
You learn to keep your eyes to yourself.
No.
Customs and inspection, right this way. Close at their cargo.
¿Qué es lo que vende este tipo?
Identification, please.
No entiendo por qué quieren que le diga que me llamo Shaggy.
Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much.
The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important. You take the starch out of them, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor? Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. A handful of SAM cleaning units retrofitted for surgery. I don't know much else. I stopped listening when she started yelling. Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with? The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. She'll set you right. You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony. Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. Two biggest operations are the board, that is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though. Are you pulling my leg? You must be one of them long-haul freighters from outside the colony. Well, I won't hold it against you. Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board. Yep, Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing bays. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year. Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing, a few years before her sister ship, the Hope. Once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirt side, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the spacefaring life. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here we are. Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see the inside of it myself. Glad to help. Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering. Happy to help. That's my job, after all. Relative to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they will. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close at your work history either. They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them. All right. He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison. They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, They know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them. You sure you didn't just step off one of the interstellar freighters? There's no working with the board. They don't share, not bits, people, or resources. You work for them, or you don't work at all. Groundbreaker cooperating now would be tantamount to joining their ranks, and we sure as shit ain't about to do that. It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new groundbreaker and put us out of business. Sure thing. Be seeing you.
O sea, es la primera persona que veo que te responde tantas preguntas, la verdad. En mi país nadie te responde absolutamente nada. Sé que hay mucha conversación de por medio, pero es la única forma de entender cómo funciona el juego y qué está pasando. Me acaban de cagar la nave.
Move along.
Ahora, ¿35 de qué me dijo? 35 de... CRG, sí. Los intrusos recibirán disparos o multas. Voy a quedarme acá un rato. Voy a grabar de nuevo. Acabo de grabar, pero por si acaso. No quiero cagarla. Entonces se supone que tengo una cantidad de tiempo con la cual puedo usar, digamos. Como no te revisan realmente, los cartuchos de identidad funcionan bastante bien. Mientras que esté disfrazado, todo bien.
Looking sharp.
Quiero ver una cosa, un segundo. Claramente dura un rato. So. Veamos. Igual grabé, así que como que da lo mismo, ¿no? Es como...
Hi there. Haven't seen you around before. What can Groundbreaker Security do for you today? This is the security desk, sir. If you're here to report a crime, you'll want to talk to Commandant Sonita. I'm not authorized to take incident reports anymore. I'm not so good at filing. Mix up first name and surname 1, 2, 7 times. Well, folks are liable to start taking your filing privileges away. We can't just let anyone walk in here. I wouldn't be, well, it's not... we just don't. Maybe if you clear an open bounty and get in good with Commandant Sunita, or help Chief Tennyson fix this heat, that might warrant a thank you tour or something. Well, let me think about it for a minute. No? Appreciate it. You being so understanding and all. All right. Sure, and stuff from outside the system too, off the interstellar freighters. That's why we also have so many armed Mardettes on duty here. That'd be awful weird. On account of you should be locked up back here too then. All right.
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I must kindly ask you to clear out. The Mardet's offices aren't for leisure time nor loitering. Got a hot one for you. Captain Gunnar McRed. Just 26 hours old. The posting, that is, not the criminal. Allegations include several counts of flying under the influence, carrying open alcoholic containers, failure to pay docking fees, resisting arrest, and assaulting not one but 2 officers. Swerving in the air was more like it. Then he crashed hard into the dock and tumbled out of his ship and fled on foot. Spilled Rizzo's Violet Spectrum vodka all over Officer Hartley. An affront of its own, considering none of us are approved for anything higher than green spectrum. Last tip we got pointed toward the back bays. You want the reward? Do the legwork. You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only a matter of time before someone brings me McRed's head, or his lucky lighter, as proof of kill. I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Good luck and skip speed to you. Do I look like your gossipy best friend? While I'm on post, I take my duties real serious. I would have no qualms whatsoever escorting you to a cell. Understand? I'm not here for a chat. Now get moving before I see you moved.
O sea, buena gente no son, eso está claro. Ahora... Detuvimos un mercenario que no soltaba prendas sobre su negocio confiscado, su pertenencia personal y es que... Ok, genial. Bueno, igual entré, o sea que... Y robé un par de cosas.
Huh?
O sea, robé, digamos, los hologramas, eso.
Don't look.
I hear scary things about Mana.
If it wasn't for us, this whole damn station would shut down.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. The board would like to remind spacers and other travelers that passage to Monarch is restricted for your protection. Canyons of acid and sulfur.
Bueno. Digamos que
Hey. Yeah.
no es muy grande el lugar. Ah, a ver, casi la cago.
You
Y...
want a punch? We've got
Carry
your punch
on.
right here.
You got a maintenance here. Just past.
Just
Casi digo que no es grande. Dale el cartucho de datos a Baxi.
Passing through, minding my business.
Veamos.
Move along.
Y esto.
Gonna head to Varus for whiskey and darts. Maybe not in that order.
Don't look funny at the crew.
Yeah, I've done work for Sublight. You ever hard up for work? Try.
You could.
Careful where you.
Pero dije, ninguno de estos tipos
So far, this place
realmente
has
habla
smell,
contigo.
right?
Están ahí y están solamente ahí.
I picked up some.
Just passing through.
There's your
Carry
drink.
on.
If you want anything
This
else,
place has a
just
smell,
flag me
right?
down.
It's not just me.
I'm not feeling
means
so monarchs.
Yeah, I've done work for some.
Este probablemente habla.
Seeking relief from the heat? Till June Lay gets those radiators fixed, I've got the next best thing. Stellar Bay proper? Tough to say. The board recalled all the nav keys about 10 years back when the corpse pulled back to Terra 2. It's overrun with beasts, I heard. Big ones. Kinda chew your face off for fun. Might all be board propaganda, though. If you're aiming to get to Stellar Bay, you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. The board don't like them that truck with Monarch. But I ain't the one you ought to be asking. Try Gladys on the promenade. She'll fix you up. I hear tell some folk down in the townships are getting offered early retirement. Who'd think of such a thing? What would you do with all the time? The radiators, they're fucked 10 ways to Sunday. And we're all sweating buckets wondering when the powers that be are gonna get around to fixing it. Couldn't say, and I wouldn't be pouring drinks professionally if I could. All I know is we're cooking in our own juices here, and it's only gonna get worse. They're supposed to gather up all the heat the systems generate and vent it into space. Instead of the heat going where it ought, though, it seems to be blowing straight down the promenade. Weeks? I lost track. Too law-damn long. Engineering. Chief Junlei Tennyson, to be precise. She runs this heap. Best she can, anyway. Don't know what's got her dragging her heels, but I wish she'd hurry it up. That's not for me to say. But if you're feeling the urge toward helpfulness, you can find Chief Junlei in engineering. There's nobody who knows more about the station's guts. Any system you could name, June's crawled around inside and made it better. She doesn't come around here often, though. Don't see her as much of a drinker. Too straight-laced for that. What ain't I got?
Need directions? Try an engineer. Groundbreaker's a bit of a maze.
Hello? Is someone there? Help! I'm locked in here! Can you get me out? You have no idea how good the air on Groundbreaker smells until you've been trapped in a tiny bathroom with an overflowing toilet. Thanks again, friend. What usually happens on this partially pressurized rust bucket? Something broke. Well, actually 2 things broke. First, the damn toilet overflowed. When I came to clean that up, the damn door decided to close and lock on me. Time stood still. I was aware of nothing but the smell. Ugh, could have been days. Ah, shit. That means I haven't clocked out in days. Song is gonna have my ass for wage theft. You're gonna shake me down after I was trapped in a shit-covered bathroom? Is that how it is? Fine. Here's every bit I've got. That enough for you, or do you want my shit-covered clothes as well? I will. I will preserve my dignity. No one can take that away from me. Ha!
You know that sound when you've snapped on an injector clip? Ah, that's how you know your weapon loves you back. I got a full line of weapon modifications I'd be happy to show you.
Lamentablemente no me convence todavía, honestamente. Es como que hay, no sé por qué, bueno, pero no sé si voy a seguir con este juego, la verdad, honestamente. Hay algo que no me gusta, simplemente no. O sea, igual he jugado, no sé, unas 4 o 5 horas, yo creo, por lo menos. No es malo, pero hay algo que no me... No sé, que no me cuadra en el juego.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the
Oh,
following
I'm
story.
sorry. Was this your room? I'll just move
Remember
along.
Auntie Cleo?
Wait,
Because
this
she
is
remembers
almost
you.
certainly my room. That's
You
my
were sick.
underwear on the
Who took
floor.
your temperature? When you were hungry, who gave you a needle full of blood?
Estúpido el hombre.
Auntie Cleo, that's who. Have you given your auntie a hug today?
Y hay bichos, ¿no?
This has been Halcyon News, your only source for news in the Halcyon.
Está llena de bichos por todos lados.
How do you do? And welcome to the Rest and Go. We used to be the Go and Rest, but folks never knew when to leave. Sorry. Business has been slow. Anything to occupy the time.
Ya, lo dejo hasta acá. Cuídate.